Welcome back to another episode of Inside CG. It's been a hot minute. I am Pamorn and Whitney. This is
Whitney.
So the last time we actually did one of these episodes, it's been a hot minute. The 22nd of October 2022.
Wow.
What's happened? Why have we stopped? Why did we stop?
Well, we got hit with a storm. 2022. We were wrapping up the year. Everything was going well. Then the new year came along and I decided to jump in for another fight early 2023. Started prepping. Woke up one night, couldn't sleep, and I knew that I was pregnant, so had to pull out of the fight.
Hang on, you woke up and knew you were pregnant?
Just knew.
Oh.
Just knew. Had a gut feeling, put it like that.
Who did that?
So I had to pull out, obviously. And last year, 2024, we welcomed, 2023, end of 2023, December, we welcomed Ada, which put a huge spanner into our life in a good way. But
Maybe number two.
Definitely a year of no sleep, just surviving, no time for podcasts. So here we are.
We're back. We're live. And for those that ever want to actually tune in and listen to what actually happens behind the scenes, we're the founder and directors. We are responsible for making sure this place is as fabulous as it is, and we really love our job. And we've got a wonderful team we get the pleasure of working with. And you hang around to the end, you get to hear some of the biggest lessons when it comes to transformations and also leadership lessons that we learned in the last 2 years since not having our podcast.
Yeah. So let me get my notes with my microphone that kind of resembles a penis. So as I said, Ada was born December 2023. The plan before Ada was I had 2 fights, 2 wins after Björn was born, kind of just getting my mojo back in the ring, feeling like myself again. We had a really good CG escapes, and I had a fight in Thailand in the middle of it, which was one of the best experiences I've had in my fight career. And then I had an opportunity to fight a really good opponent. So we grabbed it, started training, twice a day, dieting, everything like that. And I actually have no idea how it happened, but pulled up pregnant. And second pregnancy, both of them being HG. So basically that means can't eat anything, can't smell water, can't be in the house when anyone cooks, could hardly train, lost heaps of muscle, for an entire 8 months, just throwing up every single day, nauseous every day. So that was a really, really rough year. And then I just spent, so I had baby, started getting back into training, 6 weeks.
Hang on. I think we were getting.
And then we went into CG.
So you
escapes.
had the baby, Ada, on the 12th of December, and then 2 weeks later, talk us through what happened.
No, you will tell us.
No, you tell us from the outsider's perspective.
It was 5 days later.
5 days?
The worst thing in the world actually happened.
So on Saturday morning, I woke up and I said, I really can't be bothered going to training today. I've got a bad feeling. I feel crap. And she says, just go to training. You'll feel better after. It was sparring. No worries. Came in, the gym was chockers. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to go slow, get warmed up. And no Muay Thai people available. So I jumped in one of the boxes. Started the first 30 seconds. Step back, foot slip, bang. Felt like someone kicked me in the heel. I looked down and my Achilles was completely gone. I only knew this because Whit was like, what are you doing? Get up. What's happened? I'm like, nah, I've done my Achilles. 2 weeks before, one of our Myrie boys, Timmy Hunter, did the same, prepping for a fight 3 days out.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad. Had to call my mate Scotty, rushed me to hospital, and Yeah,
you came home with the brace on, crutches on, and Pamorn loves fishing, so I'm like, this is peak summer, peak fishing opportunity for Pamorn.
I miss marining season.
So I have this
crabbing season, and
that video of you jumping on the couch with your crutches and your cast, showing me how you're going to fish for the rest of summer.
Yeah.
So P was out for 3 months on various Achilles devices like trolleys.
Hang on. There was one thing that it really was a shitty situation, and I was in a bit of a predicament because I've also got Björn. Was he 3 at the time?
Yeah.
2.5, 3, who is non-stop. He's crazy. And then I've got this little blob that I can't actually do anything with. Wit's already sleep deprived, feeding at night, and I'm sitting around like a sack of shit on the couch. So I started marketplacing, shit you not, all the things that you could do.
Knee trolleys.
I found a knee trolley. I found a
peg leg.
I found crutches, but crutches suck, by the way, if you ever do your Achilles. But yeah, the peg leg was great. I drove all the way down to Mandurah to get this knee trolley.
With one leg.
With one leg. Yeah, well, we don't tell them that. And then also I got the peg leg, which was great. And I just found a way to keep going. And I tried to do everything. Sometimes when we would order Uber Eats, I'd have to fly to the front door, hop all the way down the stairs, transfer crutches, get the Uber Eats up the stairs and back on the knee trolley again.
So before baby happened, before Achilles happened, we booked CG Escape. So 2 weeks, full Muay Thai camp style in Koh Samui at Yod Yut Air, and this was our second one. So that was 11 weeks postpartum. So I'm nowhere in peak condition. Pamorn is in a cast, and we had 20 people coming. Out of 20 people, 7 of those had a fight. So we went over about a week early to try and get our head around how we were going to make this trip work. But in fairness, trip number 2 was like insane.
What
like,
did we do different
so
this time that was different from number 1?
2 weeks, better.
Instead of 1?
More Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm. More training?
Yeah, more
adventures,
training.
More banter?
So like, generally speaking, takes about 3 days to get used to the weather.
Mm-hmm. Acclimatization.
Yeah.
Pretty savage. Very humid.
More
over there,
people
very hot.
fighting, so like excitement.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I think night number 1 we had Auburn Wild. He jumped in and had a fight, and he won by KO round 3 with a head kick. We had Tia Smith won round 2. She fought a girl there that's very strong and very talented. And then we also had Jacob Francis, who jumped in and fought a top guy. He elbowed and split in round 3, so that was good.
Yeah.
And then who else did we have?
No, we had Kaz before though.
How could I
Kaz
forget?
got the big change around.
Kaz, yeah, he got a big opportunity on a very big promotion, Pet Indeed Promotions, to fight at the local stadium, Pet Buncher Stadium, and it was such a good fight. He did so well and just got clipped when things were just starting to heat up against a guy that hadn't lost in 12 fights.
Yeah, this is the thing with Kaz, like these lower weights, it's really hard to find consistent opponents, and you either don't fight or you step up, take a bit of a risk to keep active. And in Kaz's credit, I think he's grown so much since that fight. And you just realise like there's so much to learn.
Not
in
only
Muay Thai.
the fight, I feel like the whole experience leading up to that, he was very prepared leading up to it. And then the training camp, and then
Bit of a shock to his system.
He got there Monday. We told him he was fighting was it Saturday or something? It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, well,
Just-
here we are.
said yes.
He just said yes. I said, this is the opportunity we've got. Do we want to take it?
Yeah.
It was great.
And then we had little duck.
Sarah Carr.
Funny story.
Yeah, how do we talk about that one? So she was meant to fight a girl. They had an agreed weight, and
She was 2 kilos or over.
she, on the day of the weigh-in, because we in Thailand, you weigh in the day of the fight. That morning, she came in 2 kilos overweight.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Sarah, being the wee dot she is, was not willing to fight a giant, 2 kilos heavier. So we said, find us another opponent.
So they luckily found one because the coaches drilled Sarah. Literally, I've never
I'm
seen
pretty
her
sure they
train
took her soul.
train that hard, like 1,000 kicks
And then clinched.
per minute.
Clinched the fuck out of.
Doing like Thai sprints, everything. Sarah was walking at like 46 kilos, so we got one, and then was it round 2 head kick knockout?
Yep,
Bit of a year for Sarah.
it was.
Yeah.
And then we also had Adam Hart, who jumped in. Well, probably one of the most craziest fights I've ever cornered, and the Thais were absolutely gone ballistic. They fought a guy that was like a veteran. Like, he's old, but he still fights in the active circuit. And all the guys were like, if you can get past round, I think 3, you'll be sweet because you're gas. So Adam got he got kicked the fuck out of pretty hard in round 1, and I was a little bit nervous. And then round 2, he decided to headbutt the guy's elbow and split him right up the middle. And then round 3, they were just both so buggered, but Adam was just gritty and going forward. I remember in the corner, I was like, Adam, are you gonna let this guy beat you? And he was like, no. And he just went out there and he just like threw everything, but he was also gas. And the other guy ended up just, he had enough. And
Yeah.
that was great.
And then Henry.
Henry, yes. Henry Broxall also put on a bit of a show. That was a war against a French guy, I'm pretty sure, a Spanish guy.
The same type of person. They were both as crazy.
Just crazy, and that was great. One KO round 1 or 2, I think.
So traditionally in Perth, your first fights are going to be 3 90-second rounds.
Mm-hmm.
In Thailand, the boys are jumping into 5 3-minute rounds.
Oh, there's no filter there.
There's no shin guards. There's no padding. There's no head guard.
No. And the guy you're fighting could have a few fights. Could have a couple hundred.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest takeaway from the Gotsamui retreat, CG Escape, this retreat? From memory. It's been a little while back now.
Yeah. I actually have no idea. What have you got?
I think the biggest thing was just giving kids the opportunity to jump in. I say kids because I'm old now, but
Yeah.
just chuck them in there to just have a crack.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I remember just doing the tyre runs out the back of Yodyut up and down the hill in the driveway. And they're like crying. The thing I love about Yodyut Muay Thai, if you're ever there, make sure you check him out. It's down in the less popular side, a little bit more secluded, a bit more chill, but it is really, really popular for people that just love, obviously, fun fitness. So we found it very chill.
So good for beginners, but so good for fighters.
Yeah, they train you the old-fashioned way, which I absolutely love. It's none of this sort of like fluffy, like there's a hard point and there's a serious, and then a fun side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think having a fight in Thailand is quite overwhelming. So being in like a big group just makes it a little bit easier. Yeah. There's just so many things we don't need to think about in Australia. Like, is there a weigh-in? Is there not?
The tickets?
Weigh in on the day. Yeah. Being in a foreign country, your ref doesn't speak English. Girls are under the ropes. Like, there's just so many differences, and it can be a lot. And girls are rocking up to stadiums and their opponent's 20 kilos bigger than them. This is normal.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
How was your journey postpartum coming back into a full Thailand training camp? For those that don't know, you went from training a couple of times a week to being twice a day.
It was funny. Obviously, we were there the year before and I was fight fit, fight weight. And then a few of the trainers, Thais are blatantly, they don't hold back. So it's like, oh, last time you were here, you're very fit, very strong. Now you're a big girl.
They pretty much caught you.
Yeah, but I have really thick skin and I kind of expected it.
You've only grown thick skin from being around all the Thais.
But it was good because there was no pressure on me. I got to have fun. And I kind of got to be around the people fighting and support them and, do that kind of thing. Such a good group, really good people.
Great, very good. Now, being a mum for a second time and transitioning from postpartum, baby number 2, dealing with a toddler who's just as crazy, how have you adjusted your own training? Are you still training, or I know, but let's tell the people watching. What have you done with yourself? So
if I don't train, I'd probably be a serial killer. So as soon as I could train, got the physio clearance, I was back in the gym. My rule is always just move your body every day. And I think in those early stages when you're not sleeping, the hormones are crazy. That's the one thing that keeps me together. And we were really lucky to get Loma in Perth. So having Loma to train with really just brought the love back to Muay Thai for myself, learning new things. I'm lucky to have him, before the kids go to bed so I can go do bed bath, and it works in with my life. But sessions are shorter, but just every day is, that's my rule, every day.
Funny story for you all that may or may not know this. I talk about it sometimes on my socials. Back in 2005 when I was living and training in Bangkok, Thailand, at Sangmorkot Gym, every couple of days you get the newspaper stand to see who's on the cover. And there's this one guy that would always be on the cover doing a big wide brimming smile on his face. And you start to take notice of this guy because he's winning a lot and he's getting a lot of media coverage. And I would be like, okay. And then you start to believe the hype, and then you've got this weekly coloured magazine that would come out every Wednesday, and that was the weekly Muay Thai biggest thing in Thailand.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to get to know Loma, because Loma or Det Narong Sit Jabun, he came up through the southern Thailand. He was an absolute beast. He fought Same, Nongo, Seksan, he fought all the big names. And all these years later, we walked into Yodyut.
I had no idea who he was. And he just absolutely fucking folded me on pads.
Bleach blonde hair. Very much more tan than what he used to be because he's at the beach every day, chilling, working hard. And I said to Gemma, is that Loma? And she's like, yeah. I was like, that guy was the shit when I was in Thailand. Every newspaper stand would always have his face on the cover because he was just winning everything. Only years later did we learn that we got him here as a trainer. He's a legend. He's absolutely great fisherman, great man. Can't cook to save his life, but he will always have a smile on his face while he fucks you up. But the one thing that I learned is there's a reason why he has gone as far as he has in this sport. You want to tell us why?
Is it his humbleness?
No, not only his humility, but his relentlessness.
Yeah, he does not give up.
He does it with a smile. He keeps pushing forward. And it's only when he shared something, they did a documentary in his hometown when he was still competing, that his original trainer, mentor, father figure was actually talked about his story as a kid growing up. He was a kid that was real skinny in stature, massive head, and he would like just show up around the gym because his dad bought him, and the trainers would bring their sons to beat him up. And then it'd only be when they got kneed the crap out of by their kids, he'd be laying in the corner crying, that he just kept going and never gave up. And then here he is now. He's had 500 fights, won 4 of the massivest titles in Thailand, Rajaratnam and Lumpini, and Thailand champion, and he's just got so much knowledge and experience, and yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Stoked to have him.
Love him.
Yeah, and I think a lot of members get quite overwhelmed when they hear like how famous he is. But he just
That's it, that guy. Yeah, that guy. You tried.
Oh, funny story. Funny. We were all sitting in the gym, like getting ready for classes, and this guy came in like a walk-in to inquire about starting Muay Thai. He wants to fight. He's never done it before. You know, classic story. And he goes, yeah, but do you have any good trainers? Because that one doesn't look very good. And I was like, oh man, if only you knew. Like, he's the best.
Just wait.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Moving forward. So, what happened halfway through 2024? May.
PTSD alert.
June, May.
That was May.
Was it? Yeah. Talk us through it.
So our second gym, Mairi, we were in a huge building. It was kind of like our event space. Great. Lease was coming to an end. Worst thing about this is the roof. So asbestos roof. You couldn't put aircon in. You couldn't take it off without it costing like, $500,000.
Luckily, we're in the building. But yeah.
Either super hot or super cold.
There was no in between.
Yeah. So we decided we're going to move.
Look, one of the biggest challenges.
Like a week out.
Yeah, we got to the end of our lease, and it just got to a stage where we were like, what do we do here? Do we continue doing what we're doing? Some people didn't even know where the hell we were, you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off the main road.
I go to Bunnings and people are like, are you still in that back street? I'm like, no, we're on the main road now. We're right next to Tackle West, and it's kind of a bit of a central hub for the Mairi area. And talk us through the mayhem of what happened. It was a gym move in 5 days. Is that right?
Yes. So I've got heaps of footage. I just haven't had time to collate it all.
I was too busy smashing coffee and just working.
So we got...
It's a blur.
From Shields Crescent, packed it all the way down and cleaned that all up. So how do you even say that?
We got out.
The handover.
We got out.
You have to leave it as is.
Well, we actually polished that up to be nice, but the owner was happy. Put it
she was happy. And then we set up a brand new gym at the same time as closing the other one down and sweeping floors, painting things, pulling signage down in 5 days. With like a solid team. I think we just worked like around the clock. And that was absolutely fucked. Would not recommend. But the space is much smaller but better. In my opinion, like, people talk to each other now. They're not hiding.
Yeah. One thing I found at the old place being so big is people run out the door sometimes. I see ya. And one thing that's important for us as the culture we want to bring is obviously inclusivity. We want people to interact, want to get to know each other, and just know that we're all pretty normal people doing the same sort of stuff, but also share a passion in what we offer.
Yeah.
And that's something that now people are probably more inclined to do, given the space is a bit more intimate. I see it as a win. You saw it as horrible, but I see it as a win.
No, it was just a lot of hard work. Yeah. And then classes back by Monday.
Yeah.
So last class at Mairi was 9:30 on a Friday. Mm-hmm. First class, Mairi number 2, was Monday morning.
So probably less than 5 days. It was a weekend.
Yeah. Standard.
All right, cool. So let's talk about some of the fight highlights we had in 2024. What were some standouts for you? What was your biggest memories?
Definitely for top of me was Anadia and and
Taz.
Yes, Taz.
Weapon.
Yep. Highlight of, like, only because I know Nadia, she's relentless at training. Like, she'll sack in the morning, go to work, back in the gym, run, and everything. You know, she doesn't cut corners, so that was special for me. Also, Em and Mel, only because I know that, you know, like, Em put Mel on a pedestal, and, you know, Mel's a fucking savage. So she was really nervous that whole fight camp. She actually had done her ACL, but she didn't know, so she was working around a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And then she just went in there, and Em's like a little bit of a fairy in the gym, and then when she's over those ropes, she's like, does not stop.
That was one of the ones I was actually going to mention, because heading out to that fight, Emma was actually shitting bricks. She was shaking, trembling, and it was kind of hard because as a coach, there's not a lot you can do except for calm the nerves of a competitor in that sort of final moments before you step into the arena and start fighting. And yeah, Mel was one of those girls. She's beaten another girl of ours in the past. She's tough. She's fought in Rebellion. I think it was her only loss.
No. 2 of our girls.
Oh, sorry, two
No
of our
pressure,
girls. Fought in Rebellion, and I think she only lost one fight before. And yeah, she was a savage. She hits hard. She's aggressive. She's not afraid. And I said to Emma heading out to that fight, I said, look, you just have to show up as you. You don't have to worry about doing anything more than who you are, because you work hard. You have all the tools and all the skills. You have to believe in yourself. And I said the one thing that's most important for someone like yourself heading into a fight like this is, and I had to put this in an understandable format. I said, you know, in school there was always that schoolyard bully. I was like, you have to just be brave and stand up to the schoolyard bully, and this is up to you to either run away and regret this whole situation, or be brave and stand up to her and take the fight to her. And that's what she did. Yeah. From round one, I said to her, teep her in the face. She tried to teep her in the face and couldn't get it above there. She felt real bad about doing it, it's probably why. But from then on, the clinch, she was just relentless. Knees after knees.
And Mel's a strong clincher.
Oh, she's strong everything. She's scary.
Yeah. Oh, another fight to mention would be Sarah's state title. Ooh. Funny story.
The head kick that went viral.
But, taking a step back, I had a call from the promoter at 6 a.m. on Monday saying, hey, what's Sarah up to this weekend? So she wasn't booked into the fight. It was scheduled with another...
Oh, so it was a last-minute fight.
A last-minute fight.
That's right.
The original opponent withdrew for medical reasons. So I said, Sarah, it's 7 a.m. Pick up my phone. Like, let's talk about something. So Sarah's like, yep, let's go. She's at the doctor. She's getting her bloods done. They turned it around really fast. She's not in fight prep. And then I wasn't there because I was at home with the kids. So tell us about the fight.
Oh, it was just one of those fights where the girl that she was facing was obviously been pretty active, and obviously Sarah had a pretty hot last year active as well, but we didn't know what we were heading into. It was very hard because we hadn't seen footage, we hadn't seen anything, we didn't know much about the girl, and it's very hard to kind of study and understand what to expect, even in the opening exchange, to know what the person's going to be like. And the girl hits hard. She came out and she punched and kicked Sarah hard, and I was almost like, oh, you know, she's coming, and it's a case of what are you going to do about it? So I think the first round kind of ended a little bit like not being able to find her range and find her space, and then it might have been round 2.
Yeah.
The head kick from hell.
Was it one head kick, then the other?
No, it was just one head kick.
Okay.
Bang.
And that's exactly how she knocked the girl out in Thailand.
Yeah, she's kicked us both in the head with that kick. But same head kick.
Yeah.
The girl went right low kick, and Sarah went right head kick, and I honestly thought that the smack around the stadium was echoed.
Yeah.
And it was finished. And then it went viral because it was captured from a great angle. So
I think we'll have to check how many views. That's it for me.
Right?
Obviously Kaz's fight, but we've already talked about that.
The other fight that I had in mind was Caleb London. That was a hard fight for me because I actually wasn't in the corner for the first time ever, that one. And he got cut pretty bad, poor guy. But he was just all heart. He fought a guy that he'd beaten in the past. They rematched him for the state title, and he went in there and he just walked this guy down, and unfortunately got caught with a couple of elbows and copped a couple of stitches. But nonetheless, when you see people fight like that and they wear their heart on their sleeve, like, it just makes you proud knowing that people fight like that and they go to war and they just put it all on the line, because that's what people pay to watch fight sports at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's hard with these big boys, 80 plus kilos.
It makes me nervous. He's always fought out of his division.
Yeah.
I think he's like a 72.5, 76 kilo fighter. He's fighting a guy 81, 82 kilos. They're huge. So, All right, we're transformation highlights. What have we got? There's actually a lot.
I know, we have too many people.
There's so many great people that actually follow and listen to what we actually tell them to do. Our coaching staff work around the clock to make sure they obviously train people to a high standard, but also when it comes to mindset, nutrition, recovery, like it's just one of the big ones that stand out to me for 2024 is Alex Catalinich, and he was one of the standouts down in Myrie. Do you want to tell us more? Because you train him every morning, wouldn't you?
Craziest guy. Love
Tell us
him.
why.
He literally sent a tent up out the back. We'd make a joke about it.
We'd joke that he was camping.
Newly single.
Mm-hmm.
Just worked and forgot about his health and fitness. FIFO, focused on like shutting down mine sites. So just like tradie life, pie, milk, probably vapes. And then he's like, guys, I'm going to Europe soon. Can you help me get like Croatia ready? And he just turned up every day, twice. Asked what to eat, ate it. Everyone got around him, you know. We were on Alex's journey to Croatia.
Yeah, and he lost a lot of weight. He turned his body around. Also, just time for himself. He said he had a lot of barbecues and a lot of beer before that, and just kind of let himself go. But there's so many different transformation stories.
One for me is Maurice. So we've had it on the socials before, but recap on Maurice is him and his wife or partner separated, young kids involved, you know, really out of shape, working, got into the gym to help him kind of through the separation. And he's really vocal about this, so it's not like I'm throwing him under the bus, but just turned into a beast. Like, we're talking like from potato mode to like 8-pack. He actually had a fight. He didn't win, but he did really well. He's in his 30s, early 30s. Yep. His daughter's sparring. She's doing really well. She just did the hit out, and that was like a really good display of Muay Thai. Mm-hmm. So it's like happy family. I love that because it's not just like, you know, it starts with parents.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The lifestyle we live for ourselves is what our kids pick up. Now, I did forget to mention with fights of the year last year, we had a great masters boxing. We had our amateur boxers that did quite well in the ring.
I think Megan won everything under the sun.
Megan won everything. Carly Lenzarini also jumped back in and 2 wins in a row, I'm pretty sure. And then Michael Gendy, Hayden fight last year, I'm not sure, but they all made us very proud. And we also got a new champion crown from Joondalup, Jaden Daniels. So I call him Bane because
boxing fighter out of Joondalup, first state title.
Yeah, he did absolutely fabulous. Credit to Coach Tom Mitchell, who has been working them hard, and they got a great result. So I've got to mention the boxers. Yeah. Any other transformation you can think of?
Too many, like Ben and Jack in Highgate, who don't stop training.
Yes. Tell us about those two. I can tell you my version.
Yeah, you go.
So every time I'd come in to train, or I'd sometimes come in to watch Wick train, I'd bring the kids, and there's these 2 dudes that are always in the ring, and it's always the same two dudes. And one guy, like, the least people you'd expect if they're walking the streets to think that they can box. At the start, I was a little bit like, yeah, okay, guys, cool, you're here. Class is finished an hour ago, they're still going, and I'm like, okay. And now 6 months later, you watch these 2 now, they're absolutely weapons. One is running blocks when I come and the gym's closed. The other guy looks like the statue of David, just carved out of stone, and it just goes to show when you put in the effort, you get the return. You're in early, you outlast, and I'm really proud of those 2 boys. So well done, Jack and Ben.
Yeah, and they're just team players. Like, it's a solo sport, so a lot of competitors are like really focused on themselves, and it's easy to just ignore your teammates, and you know, you look selfish, but you have to be. But they're really, really good in like getting around people and banter, and you know, training when it's a good time.
Yeah, the core sort of, you know, characters in the team which keep the team going forward. So that's great. Also, Tia Smith, I did forget to mention that. I think she had 3 or 4 fights last year, and she also, pretty big accomplishment, hit 1,000 classes since joining the Champions Gym. Yeah. So well done, Tia.
And she will never, she begs for opportunity. Yeah, you know, a lot of girls will be like, no, I'm not going to fight her. Tia begs.
Awesome. Next up.
So I want to turn this into a little bit of like an announcement instead of what we have there.
I don't even know what it is. What is it?
So Feb 22.
Oh, here we go. She's actually going to do it herself. Good job. What's
Are you
happening?
too shocked?
You going to do a drum roll?
So obviously, baby number 2. I'm 36. 3 gyms. and I'm very aware that I'm not like in my prime. That's another funny story, but I've decided that I need to have another fight.
Oh, I actually knew that. I didn't think you were going to announce it. Yeah, there you go.
Reason being, I think as a mum and a coach and a business owner, like I give a lot to other people, like giving a lot to clients, giving a lot to my staff. And as a mum, you realise you need to fill up your own cup, because no one's going to do that for you. No one's coming to save you. And when you're distant from the thing that you love, and that's for me is Muay Thai, you realise how much you actually love it when you can't do it.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do it? Why are you crazy on it?
Have you ever taken drugs?
No.
That's what Muay Thai fighting is like.
I gather you have. No, but deep down
Yeah.
in your soul, when you ask yourself, when you look in the mirror and Lama's asking you for kick number 5,000 of the fifth round, what keeps you going?
You can either make an excuse in the moment, which I do, like every other session, or you can just go like, fuck it, I'm just going to kick, and if it's shit, it doesn't matter, and tomorrow I'm going to be a bit better.
But why the pursuit of, I need to fight again after 2 kids?
It's different. It's for me, it's not to be the state champ, the national champ.
You've done that already.
I just want to do something for myself. And I think 2025 is going to be a big focus on, like, what can I do for myself? How can I fill up my own cup? And I need to follow my heart on this and go, my heart's telling me to do it. I could get knocked out round 1. Like, I'm not young. You know, I've had to work really hard to get to this level of fitness, and I'm taking a big risk. But when your heart says do something, I think you should follow it.
I agree. And what's actually funny is the lady she's fighting on Feb 22 is actually the girl she was matched to fight before she had.
Yeah, but she's not a jinx because you got the snip.
Yeah, I got the snip.
Yeah.
No more babies, so that's not happening again. But yeah, so it's Marina Verissimo. Talk us on which fight show. What do you know about the fight? Tell the viewers or whoever wants to listen to this.
So Muay Thai Super Series, the rebrand.
Yep.
So really, I'd probably say like
The best.
the
Gavin
best.
Fuller.
We're going to go 5-2s together. We're both coming up a bit in weight. I believe she's had a bit of a gap out of the ring too.
Mm-hmm.
She's very strong. She's got huge heart, great in the clinch, and I think it's just going to be a good day.
Well, it's going to be a good scrap. Just
Yeah.
watching 2 birds go at it. There's nothing to lose. It's not for belts. It's not for wins.
I think anyone that's had, you know, she's had like 30 plus fights. They're all tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the eyes of the viewers as well, people want to see action. They want to see human story. They want to see people overcoming setbacks and hardship to achieve glory. And I think by you, for me, if you ask me how I think of a husband or how I feel, I think you're crazy. But to be honest, crazy is good because life is short and sometimes no one's going to remember the people who did the boring shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. Hopefully you two put on a banger for 5 rounds, lots of blood, lots of action, and then our kids one day watch it back and go, my mum was a fucking savage.
I think they think that most days at 6 p.m. anyway.
No, they're fucking savage.
Put your listening ears on!
Yeah. Fucking listen.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else? Any other surprises you want to add in there?
No more surprises.
All right, very cool. So this being our first episode of Inside CG, in 2 years, what have been your biggest leadership lessons? And I'm reading my notes, so apologies.
You go first.
My biggest leadership lessons of 2024 would be, where do I start? I think trusting your gut instinct is a big thing. Like for me, when you feel something and knowing, you know, things are not right or need to be adjusted, I think it's just following your gut instinct to know that sometimes you feel things because you feel things, and you got to take action fast on it, especially when it comes to leadership.
That actually shocked me you said that.
Yeah, it's I actually.
Who even are you?
Well, the thing is, people have always fascinated me. Leading teams, like, is something that I've always frothed, and I love working with a group and a team and leading people to doing whatever they try to achieve. So when I was a fight coach full time, it would be go out there and win all the belts. Now as a leader of training the coaches to be great coaches, it's like, how do we bring out the best of the people we work with? And then when it comes to creating a great culture above all, which all kind of interlinks with that, having your gut feeling to know that if there's a red flag, you're having a red flag.
Take it. Fast action.
Take action.
Yeah.
Because in the past I've been guilty of maybe
Hoping
giving
for the
leeway,
best.
hoping or giving people the benefit of the doubt, and actually as a leader, your job and your responsibility to people is to take action and do it right, because you want to be able to feel the culture of a place, to know that you feel safe, you feel welcome, and the threats are zero. You know?
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Yours?
Yeah, I think just to like scaffold on that, not everyone needs to understand or agree with the actions you take as a leader, but know that you are doing the right thing for the greater good of everyone. And when you do that, you can sleep well at night. But for me, full transparency, 2024 was a fucking write-off because it was just hectic. Like waking up to coach at 5 a.m, feeding a baby at 4 a.m, just getting through like the transition of 1 to 2 kids. So I'm looking forward to 2025.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to the most?
Just like, I feel like I'm over that newborn hump, and hopefully I can get some like structure back into like being a boss and working on creative projects again. Like I just let all that stuff slide.
Yeah. Well, the good news is there's no more babies. I don't actually talk about that enough, but guys, if you ever want to do it, I highly recommend it. It's not scary at all. I did it while I was awake, much of my mates. All right. But for me, 2025, I think it's going to be a big year. So yeah, just getting the culture and the people all on board on the same page, knowing what we're all working towards, and all striving forward together. So I'm excited. Big thank you to our man Dave behind the camera and making this first podcast in 2025 possible. He's got the lights that actually bring out or make us look a little bit more special, kind of like polishing a turd. And stay tuned for episode number 2. Anything you want to add?
Over and out.
Thanks for watching.